Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to Truck Talk and Time with Jesus. I know it's been a while since I put a video on here, and I've been just going through my head on things, and it's amazing. I haven't got a chance on the last video to make any comments or anything, but I did read them. I think it was yesterday. I was on vacation, heading back to work now. I'll tell you what amazes me. We look at the world today, and we look at how God expects us. Many people out there are calling themselves Christians, but they're so judgmental. It just blows my mind listening to people that go to church and act and respond the way that they respond. We understand. It's all over the news. It's all over every article that you can read about Trump. Now, I've had a few people ask me my opinion on it. Doesn't mean I'm right. But was it a true attempt, or was it a scare tactic? Was it a fact that a certain party don't want him to run because they know the convictions that they're under once he gets back in office? Look, you shot at a man and he still is on the go. You ran him through courts, you ran him through the ringer, and you're retrying him. It'd be like retrying OJ after he confessed the murder of Nicole. To retry him, you'd have to have new evidence. To bring in Stormy Daniels again, and I get it, it's more than that. Trust me, people. I'm not naive of what goes on in the world. I just choose not to listen to it. I don't watch the news. I could care less. But when you're getting on Google to search up something and you see all these headlines, it blows my mind how we just repeat things over and over and over. You look at the Joker syndrome there for a while back when all these people were dressing up like the Joker and going into these movie theaters, or the It clown, and people to even entertain such things. Let me tell you something. You got to have some kind of demonicness with you to even entertain such stuff. Dressing up for Halloween was never a big thing for me because I lived in that darkness. To me, the gorier, the more gruesome, the makeup I could put on, all the blood, guts, and horror that I could create, I was enjoying myself. Today, I live the opposite. Today, I can't stand it. And honestly, truthfully, as I always am with you, I didn't do it to scare people. Or yet did I? Well, you go into a haunted house. Everybody, you can look up the Akron Schoolhouse and the haunted laboratory. I don't even know if they're even still open now because Don died. So I don't know what happened. They used to have some kind of banquet thing there too, but I don't even think that's still open. I know they made an escape room up there, but let's face it, the Big C came in and counterpunched everybody. Frightful, scareful. I still hear people talking about we should put masks back on, colds and flus. It's amazing how we don't wipe down carts and stuff anymore. It's amazing how we don't, good example. I was at the pantry yesterday helping Darlene, and they got a bucket there with sanitizer stuff in it, and they wipe down the carts. I said, "Why are we still doing this craziness?" And the girl looked at me. She goes, "Yeah, we until we're told not to." I said, "I don't wipe them down. I just push them over there because here's why: we're in here touching everything under the sun. You're wiping it down, and you're pushing it over there." One lady says, I shouldn't say girl because she's a lady. One lady said that, I wear plastic gloves. I said, "Oh, great. So everything you're touching the same gloves that you handled food. And wiping it down and then pushing it over there. So tell me how you truly sanitize that cart." Her exact words back to me was, "Are you always like this?" Yes, I am. Because I don't belong to the world. Jesus did not belong to this world. Jesus came to confess and to make us realize the wrong things that we are doing. What did Jesus say? I came to bring division. So he's confessing what he's here to do. Because I know somebody was going to say, "What did Jesus have to confess for?" You know why? Because you're looking for an out. You can't stand to hear what the truth of the Bible is because you're looking for an out because you think your sin isn't enough that's going to drag you into hell. Well, let me tell you right now. If you got hard feelings against somebody, you hold a grudge against somebody, you are not going into heaven. Well, I beg the difference with you because I go to church, I read the Bible. How much time does people really spend in the Bible these days? I mean, seriously, look at your lives and tell me how many hours you really devote to God out of a 24-hour period. But then write down, and these are same things I spoke in videos past, then write down how much time do you talk to your friends? Then write down how much time do you watch television? How much time do you go to the gym and work out? Well, it takes a lot when you sit there and examine yourself. It's like I went to church on Sunday. First time I've been in church in a long time. Why? Glad you asked. Because I work Friday through Tuesday. So today, which is Friday, is my Monday. Most of you are looking forward to the weekend. I look forward to Tuesdays so I can have the weekends. I don't get the privilege of going home every day. I don't get the privilege of doing the things I used to do. So that means Darlene's got to pick up the ends of things when I'm not there. Now, I try my best to give her time to do what she needs to do when I'm home. But, good grief. So I'll get back to what I'm doing is we bought a new car, and I've always told people when you buy a car, go through every gadget in that car before you move the car. I'm sitting here thinking, how in the world does this work? How does this work now? And I'm trying to set the cruise control, and I'm like, how did I set it the other day? And you go through all this. It's like when you're programmed in a car that you drove for a long time, once you learn everything, sometimes you may learn something new. If you're willing. So anyways, back to the church thing. So they're in there and they're talking about, it was Sunday school. So they're talking about examining the fruits and difference between the spiritual fruits and going through there, and then they're going to do a test pretty much at the end. Not on all that, but to look at yourself, and it gives you kind of like what your gifts are from God. And I say kind of because my thing is, even if you know, if you don't use it, it's useless. Useless information sits in your brain for no reason because you don't do anything with it. So why even pretend? And there's a lot of people pretending these days. It's really beyond me. You look at the nonsense that happened. I mean, what was he, a 21-year-old boy that took that shot? But then you hear the random fires. You hear the police, the fire chief that dove on his wife and daughter to save them. And they're calling it a hero. But then someone else testified that he was shot and went to grab a hold of them and fell onto them. So, is he truly a hero now? If that's the case? Tomato, tomato? Potato, potato? I mean, you look at it and go, well, wait a minute. If he was shot and falling on them and he fell on them, was that going through his mind? Or how about this way of looking at it? For all of those who believe that I'm going to stand there when Christ comes and I'm going to confess my sins. For all of you that believe that Mother Mary is going to save you. That would be like me going to Lucifer and say, here, Lucifer, I'm going to confess to you and I expect to go to heaven. Okay, confess. As he's laughing, he's walking away going, how stupid can you be? And I'm not making fun of anybody. By all means, no, I'm not. I'm trying to wake you up because the Lord is coming. And if you're not awake and you're still in bed sleeping, even though you're up walking like the living dead, because you are dead. Anybody that walks around in this nonsense world and looks at this stuff, you are a part of it. You're in the walking dead. I know I touched a little bit on these skinwalkers, how far back it goes, what it does in the demonic realm, and you know, he did say I can use his first name, so Josh. Let me just be as polite as I can with this in a godly way, because you claim to be a very godly man. You claim to know the scripture. Okay, that's good. You go to church. Okay, that's good. There's your second check. Well, your third, because you claim to be a very godly man. So you got 3 checks already, bud. The fourth check is you have a daughter and a wife, and you provide for them. Okay, there's your fourth check. How many checks would you like me to get to before I get to what I'm about to say? Well, I'm just going to dig into it and then continue to move on. None of that means anything. Anything. I could do good works. I could go in the pantry. I could do good works there. I could pray over people. I can mow the neighbor's lawn. But if I have a bad thought, if I have evil ways about myself, evil intentions, because I'm not doing it for Jesus, I'm doing it for mankind. Where am I at with Christ then? If you can tell me the things you're doing, and you would do it with Jesus standing next to you, you better be very careful how you answer that question. Because Jesus had no sin. None. So, for us to say, well, I believe Jesus will go in the bar and have a beer with me, good luck with that one. There's many things. Well, I just told a little white lie. Little white lies lead to big lies. Well, I just stole this once. Well, twice. And I've been through that whole thing with you. You could take a paperclip from work if you didn't ask. Isn't that considered stealing? A rubber band? Well, no. No. Well, technically, yes. Somebody brought up the thing about the pins. I said, yes, I put that on the video once. you can go in a bank and they got their name written all over everything because they want you to pick it up, maybe leave it somewhere else, not even thinking. And somebody picks it up and goes, oh, yeah, let me see what this bank's about. It's free advertisement. Like the vehicle that we purchased, they got their name written in these stickers on the back of the window. Well, I never asked for that. They just put it on there. You know, and what gets me is the salesperson, nice kid, but basically lied about a few different things. Darlene asked for a Carfax report, which you're entitled to. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get it for you. Oh, yeah, I printed out. Oh, and he's looking over at a printer, and I'm going, oh, what printer are you looking at? Because I don't see nothing. Oh, do you need one? So then when she asked, when we were in the financing office to give him the check for the car, and, well, I shouldn't really say finance. Well, it is the financing office, but we just bought the car outright. And, you know, they're going on and on and on about how you get all this free maintenance for da-da-da-da-da. But then when you go in there and you hear the whopping fee they want, you about fall over. The car went from this to this in seconds. We had all that before. We bought a car from them. We had it all before. We took the car in there because the shifter broke. We had a Saturn Vue. It was a 5-speed, I believe. And the shifter got messed up. We took it in there. And you know what's crazy about it? Everything under the sun was covered except for that. Isn't that something? See, we're covered by the blood of Jesus as long as we're walking with Him and for Him and for the Father, and not of our own accord or a man's slap on the back. But the thing of it is when you don't do what you say you're going to do, you lose credibility in life. I don't trust a lot of people. The Bible says not to trust man because man's going to let you down. Man being man and woman. So, Josh, I hope that kind of opens up that door for you a little bit to really look at your life and go, Because one of your comments were, you know, that I forgot how to be a man. You know, men are supposed to have some time to go out and do things. But I'm behind a steering wheel 5 days a week and I don't get to go home. I don't need to hang out with a buddy that you see all week long, but yet you're hanging out with them all week long because you work out. So you go from work straight to the gym, I'm assuming. Sometimes you stop and grab something to eat. Your words, not mine. And go to the gym. You hang out with your buddies. You got a daughter at home and a wife at home. And then you come home to shower, whatever you're going to do. And most likely, you're going to lay around on a recliner or couch or something. How much time do you give to your daughter? How much time do you give to your wife? Probably about as much as you give to Jesus. And that's the truth. That's the reality of it. Because you play the motions, you go through it, and then you have a guy's night out, a poker night on Thursday. But what does your wife do with all this? You never answered that to me. You know, where does your wife come in? Does your wife have a night out on the weekends or something? Are you there with your daughter? You never really answered that question. You skipped around that. Because I would say if you're skipping around it, not giving the truth, I believe probably the answer is no. This, my friend, is where the devil steps in, and I say the devil because there's many devils. This is where Satan would be into the factor because Satan is right under Lucifer. Well, he's about fifth on the chain of command there. But still, Satan is a very powerful demon, devil, whichever you prefer to call him. Yes, I know many question that, and they go through there, and I'm like, well, I don't have to prove it to you. I know how the order goes. I lived it. I should know it. You know, you look at, like, I forget how many videos back when I named off the presidents coming down, and I got a comment on that saying, wow, you know, why do you remember presidents like that? I don't know. I don't know why God has me do the things he has me do sometimes. What's the purpose of knowing the presidents like that? I just memorized it, and that was it. And it stuck with me. Now, I can't go all the way through the whole list anymore. I used to be able to. I can get through probably, I think, maybe the first 8 or 10, 9 presidents. And then it skips a few because some of them come back into the picture. They didn't serve 2 terms together, back to back. They served, and then a different president came in, then they served again, and all the way up to Abraham Lincoln. That's usually between where I stop off into the 16th president, which is Abraham Lincoln. That's where I kind of start losing the thought of who came after who. So you have to look at life in that order. We are losing this war. Forget the battle, people. We're in war. We look at everything and give our opinion, or someone gives you an opinion, and you tend to believe it. Why does people drive with the brights on? I mean, how do you not see? Never mind. I don't even know how somebody drives the way they're driving. The windows are so steamed up inside. So either they're in there smoking something, and I'm just assuming because it's not humid out. So why would the whole inside of your windows be all foggy? And that could be why you're driving with the brights on and don't even realize your brights are on. Again, you get these people that lane change, constant. You got to be a vehicle ahead of somebody. We got to be ahead of the race. But what are you racing for? Where are you at in your life? Now, I know I'm kind of bouncing around all this, but I'm trying to get your thought into different areas and come back into it. Because sometimes if you hear the same topic all the way through, you tune it off. I got up this morning and I had an alert on there, like I normally been telling you guys. Men, well done. I mean, you guys nailed it. The last week and a half, it was 99% men have watched these videos. Watched them. Now, it was more women commenting on the comments than men. Men have 1% of comments. Women pretty much dominated the comment section. Which the last 2 videos I went back and looked at, I can honestly say, yes, there's been more women than men. But it floored me when I looked at it going, and the age group was between 55 and 60. Which, another thing that kind of blew my mind. And this is what the topic thing was, saying go with more of modern times. Modern times is the same. Today is the same as Sodom and Gomorrah. Think about it. We are repeating the Bible. It's crazy. I mean, you ever just want to see a woman that's walking around with a tank top on and her stuff's all hanging out? You got to even watch getting on YouTube these days because there's crap all over it. These girls half posing for things and all this stuff to get you to watch a video, and you just like yesterday, these people pulled up next to us. We were down filling because we got well water, so we take jugs and we go down and we fill them up. And yes, I have a softener system. We got the filter system. I just don't like the taste of it. I never have liked the taste of well water. It's clean. It's purified. It's filtered. We have the softener. I just don't like the taste of it. Do we cook with it? Yes. Does it boil it out? Maybe. I don't know. But you're also not really using it in the fact of most of the time, whatever you're cooking, if you're cooking boiled eggs to boil eggs, you're dumping the water out. So, I don't know. Is it a thing just that you put in your head and that's what you're stuck with? But for some reason, when you cook with it, you're mixing stuff or whatever you're mixing in there, it has other ingredients, you don't taste that taste. Well water has a unique, if you've ever had it, you'll understand what I'm saying. I mean, it's just got a unique taste. But is what we're watching and looking at, I mean, you can't even watch. I was a big Kevin Costner fan. I loved his movies. He's doing this series, Yellowstone, I think it's called. Now I think he's doing another series. It's disgusting. This TV series is garbage. I mean, I get it, the cowboy thing and all this crap. First of all, I don't want to hear the cusses. Second of all, I don't care if they still got their clothes on or not, but you can clearly see them, like one episode, they're like having sex. And I'm like, what in the world? I don't care. He's still part of it. He's the director, from what I'm told. And I'm like, Kevin Costner, what are you doing? Or do you really got to put this smuck into these things to get people to watch this garbage? And go figure. The one time that I choose to watch it, I'm like, well, let me see what it's about. That's the episode that comes on, and I'm fast forwarding through some of it just to get an idea. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And now, granted, sometimes we look at the characters and the people that play the character. You know, we see them in other movies. It's kind of hard to see somebody go, and I get it, you know, they're actresses, actors, but when you see them play a godly role and then go into a smuck role like that, holy moly. You just go, but I'm telling you this for a reason. I'm not coming against the actress. I know that's what she does for a living. The idea is to be convincing. Yes, very convincing. She's a good actress. I'll give you that. But I don't know. Maybe back in my sinning days, yeah, I probably could have played any kind of role and wouldn't really cared. But then you look at it and go, oh, this driver, man. I don't know why he keeps slamming on his brakes, but good grief. It loses your train of thought because you go into that driving mode right away, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, this guy's going extremely too fast down this hill. You're driving an 18-wheeler, and you got to keep pushing on your brakes. And when I mean pushing on your brakes, your brake light's coming on and staying on for a few seconds. All you're doing is heating your brakes up. And that's why if you ever see in your travel and you see escape ramps, it's because guys like that. Now he's swaying all over the place trying to stop this truck, to slow it down, to go down this hill. Because he wasn't paying attention and you're going too fast before you didn't look at the road signs or whatever the case is, or you're tired. I mean, we could throw a lot of things in the equation, or you're distracted driving by texting or whatever the heck you're doing in that truck. I guarantee it. I'm going to pull up there and he's probably going to have a phone in his hand. He's still slamming on his brakes. Unbelievable. This is stuff that blows my mind. I mean, all day long you see this garbage. And then you get the guys on the motorcycle. I'm telling you, I'm going to get one of those the neck deals where you can put your phone in there so you guys can literally see what I'm looking at. It's you would understand real quick, but some of you probably could relate to what I'm speaking to you right now. Now I got a pack of motorcycles come flying up on me, and now the motorcycles are doing the same thing as the semi drivers would do. Even some cars are doing it now because they've had it done to them so long, and it works because people move out of the way. They're flashing their lights. I am not moving. First of all, that tenses me up because what a semi driver did to me in Florida that ran me off the road, 3 times. And I won't move, people. I will sit. Yes, I'm stubborn. Is it godly? Probably not. I probably should just move out of the way. But I'm doing the speed limit. I'm doing exactly what I should be doing. Just because the speed limit is 70 don't mean I can do 75. You do 71, an officer can pull you over. Well, we're allowed 5 miles. Maybe. That officer's in a good mood that day, maybe. If not, technically, you're speeding, are you not? What's the speed limit? Limit. Minimum, maximum. So there you are. What does God expect us to do? There you go. He doesn't expect us to do some of it. He expects us to do all of it. We can't go in there and pick out what we want to do. Well, I want to live this way, but I'm going to go to heaven. Yeah? Good luck with that. You can't serve 2 masters. You can try, but it's never going to work. When you walk out your door, it's almost like you want to put blinders on. If people are truly being honest. I mean, seriously, truly being honest. Some people, I was talking to this other driver for a while, then he got to a point that, and he claimed to be a Christian. So I was like, okay, well, at least I'll have a Christian person to talk to and drive with and stuff like that. But some days when you just want to hear a voice in your head, other than your own thoughts. And the more I got to know him and the more I got to talk with him, he's a button pusher. I've known so many guys like him over the years, and he's a bragger, he's a boastful person, he's got to have the best of the best, he's got to be better than people, he's got to have titles over his name, and just the way he talks, he loves to make fun of you, but do it in a joking way. If you say something, he'll just keep repeating it, because he just loves to bring disgust to your life or heartache, whatever he's trying to do. But where I come from, you don't do that to people. Because back in my younger days, I probably would have socked him in the face and been done with him. Whatever happened, happened. Because he repeatedly tells me that, in a nice way, that even one time he even went to the details of saying that he pretty much could take me out. Well, don't be so sure of yourself what someone can do or can't do. One thing I've learned about fighting, you never underestimate the person that you're about to fight. Now, I get it. He's probably a wiry person. He probably can't fight. But you don't know nothing about me. So how can you just assume because you think I'm older than you? Look what's happening with Mike Tyson. People are coming against him. Is it just because Mike Tyson made the thing, I made Jake Paul, I'm going to break Jake Paul. I'm going to end him. So is this just a stunt thing? I mean, I looked at some of Jake Paul's fights, and honestly, Floyd Mayweather, I'm thinking, man, that's a big name. Holds a title. But once I watched the fight, and again, then I found out it was supposed to be an expedition, but it didn't really look like an expedition. It looked like an actual fight. So let's just take the actual fight out of the equation and put expedition. But they're tagging each other pretty dang on good. So my thing is, are you, the way Jake Paul throws his arms and stands, you get in there with a veteran like Tyson, and you hold your arms out and you do those wild baboon throws that he does and leaves himself open that much, Tyson gets in that pocket of you, you're done. Now, he's starting to get a little bit cleaner with the way he boxes, but I personally, I don't care how old Tyson is. If you gave me 3 rounds with Tyson and said that you'd pay me $1 million for every round, win or lose the rounds, and each round was 3 minutes, I would have to really think about it. Now, if you gave me that option with anybody else, Jake Paul or anybody else, I'd probably do it. Win or lose. Now, do I think I could beat Jake Paul? Not today. I could barely move some days. When I was younger and I trained and I was fit, I would have gave him my all. Then again, age doesn't have a number. Let me go back to the Sunday school. I didn't get a chance to... It was weird because Darlene was saying stuff, and it's like the guy that took over because they transfer people a lot, and different people come in. And but Darlene was... It's like the guy gets disgusted when she brings up topics, but certain people can talk, and other people can't. Like this one guy was reading scripture out of there to back up something he was saying, and I went to comment because another lady at the end of the table, she kept saying, well, we're old and this, and listen, God has a purpose, plan, and a reason for everybody. When you put God in a box and you're telling God, well, I'm too old, God, I can't do any of this stuff anymore. Okay. So now you put God in the box telling God that you know more than he does. So, if you know more than God, then by all means, I'm sure many people seen that movie Bruce Almighty. You've seen what happened to him. Could you make judgment calls like God has to do? Could you be just and fair like God? Nope. You can't. You may say, yes, Nelson, I could do it. No, you can't. Because when it comes to your own family, well, this person's a sinner, this person was on drugs, this person was in a gay lifestyle, this person was da 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 da. And that's your. What if it's your child? Could you send them to hell? And they blaspheme against the Spirit? When you deny Christ, I don't care how many people come up and say, well, I believe just because I live this lifestyle doesn't mean I'm not going to heaven. Well, if you think you're going to repent at the very end, you're crazy. If you think you're going to live in Sodom and Gomorrah and God's just going to open the heavens gates for you, well, the gates are open, but what I'm meaning is, if you think you're going to get a special pass because you believe in Christ, you're sadly mistaken. Sadly. Once saved, always saved, throw it out the window is the biggest nonsense I've ever heard. But yet people go to their pastors, and the pastor says, yeah, if you're saved, and la, 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 la. Well, that gives me the golden ticket. I now become Charlie, and I can enter the chocolate factory, and I can have all the food I want. I can have all the temptations of my life. Because I have been saved, I accept Jesus Christ. What a crock of you-know-what. You're being deceived because you live a worldly way. Too many people are living by man's way. And not Christ's way. Well, I don't believe that, Nelson. You don't have to believe it. Believe whatever you want. And the world's full of it. Because every time you come up with something, I'm just going to give you this. Why then does it state the pathway to heaven is narrow? Why does it state 2 men will be in a field, one will go, one will stay? 2 women will be in a mill, one will stay and one will go. Why does it say that then? Because people post all these stupid videos, half naked. They're doing all these shows now, and you wonder why there's so much rape. You wonder why there's so much kidnapping. Because young girls these days want someone to look at them, to give them some attention. I watched this video a few weeks ago, and this guy is, I guess he's maybe, I don't know if he's part of, if he's an officer or not, but he works with officers. Whether it's legit or not, I don't know, but I tend to believe it is. That they set these sex predators, guys that try to get these girls or boys to have sex with them, and they basically set them up with a place to meet, and they go in there and they arrest them. And some of them you could, and I'm not trying to stereotype or say, yeah, I could have guessed that with that. But some of them are well dressed, have a nice career. So you just can't go off of the fact that the way they're dressed or the way they look, are they overweight, blah, 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 because you go down this stereotype and think, well, okay, well, look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Did he look abnormal? Did he look like somebody that would go around killing people, chopping their body parts up? tired. Some days this drive, you just push yourself to get through it. Then I still got to drive all day. I woke up and I really couldn't sleep. So I just, let me get a shower and get ready and just drive up here. If anything, I could lay down for an hour or 2 hours, whatever, get back up. Sometimes that makes it worse, though. But either way, it's what we do in life. You just got to keep moving forward. Try not to complain about things. Try to live the way that the Lord has lived. Forgiveness. What the heck that guy's doing? But you look at all these stimulus checks that are coming out. Look what the Biden administration's doing. Now they're talking that Pelosi. I thought Pelosi retired. I thought she resigned, and why is she even putting her 5 cents into anything if she's no longer in place? See, this is what I don't get. So I guess all these people, Barack Obama and all these people are asking him to step down. Well, that means Kamala Harris being vice president. Do we really think Kamala Harris is any better than Biden? But then Biden, it's the fact that it's just an act. Because sometimes the guy's like super intelligent and he goes on and then he goes into that blank deer in the headlight as he's reading the screen there. I don't think so. I think there's more to this story than, we need to get to the Scooby-Doo ending on this. Because it just doesn't sit right. None of it. Especially when you see guys moving around with rubber masks on. Granted, it did look legit until you see them turn their head a certain way and watch it ripple up, and you can clearly see it's a mask. Now they're saying he's got COVID again. He went from having a cold to he wasn't feeling well. Now he's got the COVID to try to make up for his babbling crap that he does. Or the creepy whisper stuff that he does. Or the forgetfulness. As far as I know, there was no forgetfulness in COVID. Don't even get me started on that nonsense, because that's a whole nother topic. We believe whatever the news says. Look how many people believe the news. Darlene was telling me about one guy. His report was, he goes, speculate. People are speculating. Blah, 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 blah. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard a news person say. We can't really say anything. I listened to an FBI agent that said what happened there, he says, I wouldn't have done that. I would have either shot him in the knees or shot him in the hand or shot him in the elbow. He was a young boy. He would have dropped that weapon pretty dang on fast. He would have got answers. You kill somebody, you ain't never getting answers. And being he's a young boy, he probably would have talked. Or would he? We may never know. Only thing I say, it leads right back to Lucifer. All of it. What you do each day, it's either Lucifer or it's Jesus. Which one do you walk closer to? Want to know how to tell? Would Jesus be pleased at what you're doing? When you're around certain people, are you dropping curse words? Are you acting a certain way? Are you doing things behind closed doors that you shouldn't be doing? Well, I have an addiction. Let me tell you, you got porn addiction. A lot of people confessing of that these days. Why is that? What's going on in your marriage or your relationships? Hopefully you're married and not just having that kind of relationships with people and that's it. You know, it falls under that one night stand garbage. Somebody gets hurt all the time. But then again, why would you put yourself into that spot? Just saying. Think about it. I don't know what the temperature is, but I am actually cold. Trying to figure out how to turn this heat on. Then again, people, just like I said, distracted driving, because I should have already figured all this out, but I turned the AC off and turned it on hot, and it's still blowing out cold air. Huh. Well, I'm just going to turn this off. It's just making me colder. Literally, my nose just feels like it's going to start running. You don't need heat. Freeze! But see, even when you get into that point, you got to really watch yourself that you don't start complaining. Because I needed another car, or I needed to just tear the whole front end of that other car out and fix it. Either way, you got two options. If it had a lot of miles on it, do you take the time and put the money in it, and then something else goes wrong? Chances you take. Another person with their brights on. I mean, some days I just want to go drive right behind these people and just blare my brights right in their windows, so they can see what it's like when somebody comes up on them and does it. I'm sure they probably have had it done, but it blows my mind how people just don't care. You can call somebody the wreck doing that stupid stuff. Unbelievable. So, honestly, people, I guess the best way to look at life is follow Jesus' way before you call yourself a Christian. Uphold what the Bible says. Stop judging people. stop doing the things that you do, that doesn't show Christ. Be ready, for time is short.